All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Monday. Of course, with Mondays come a certain market report. That's right. We're going to be taking a look at the most relevant sold listings of post 1900 graded coins, all US style, of course, for this. This is for the week ending April 17, 2022. I like doing these videos just to kind of show exactly where some of the money has been going to lately. Because you'll find that after a while you begin to see the trends kind of move. All right, and that's just the money going to where no other money has gone before, and it just kind of flip flops to different types. All right, you're going to see that here. There's going to be specific type coins that again are really consistent performers every week, but we're seeing it really true to life here in this video, where we're not seeing like the finest graded examples selling for a lot of money or setting that market precedence. We're seeing coins all across the spectrum in various grades, especially in mid-state form, that are quite desirable, and that shows us one thing: that the market is thinning out supply-wise of some of these coins. We're just not seeing them as frequently as we used to. And that's kind of like the big catalyst as to why people are settling for a coin that is maybe one or two grade points lower for their collection. All right, so as always, thank you for joining in. This is going to be a very fun report. We got a nice stacked lineup today, 17 coins, all from great collections. For all of your consignment needs, Great Collections is one of the premier sites. Go ahead and check them out. GreatCollections.com. But also, if you're looking for that marquee type piece, they are fantastic as well. I buy from them weekly. I really need to knock that off because, all this stuff costs money. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump right in. What kind of coins do we got settling here? 58D is a common date. Lincoln Wheat Cent. This, of course, is on the list specifically for its registry set applications. There's no really other reason why you would sell a coin like this to someone with a type collection. It's just, it doesn't make any sense. These coins are expensive. Once they hit a specific grade where there's so few of them, in spite of the millions and millions of mintage of these coins. Now, this is a mid-state 67 plus full red example. I would say not the crispest looking coin. This one right here looks like it had dies that probably had a die clash at one point. There's just a dog dish of die file lines crossing all over the place. It's a love it or hate it thing. People do like the look of this particular appearance, and some really don't. That's kind of where the rubber meets the road. You could tell that it is also NGC graded, whereas a PCGS graded, same grade level, same designation, and all that great stuff, will sell for a lot more money. So for someone settling, obviously this NGC 67 plus is that piece, and this one ended up selling for $1,040.62. And then we have another one here as well, 1950 Philadelphia minted Lincoln. This one, much like the previous example, exhibits some of those heavy die file lines. We usually don't see too many of these on the MMRs, where we have consecutive coins with this kind of, ill-looking cleanup, I suppose, is what you would call it from a US mid perspective. But another tough grade. This one, however, is in PCGS plastic as a mid-state 67 red. This one's not nearly as tough as the next 4 or 5 years of Lincoln's, where Philadelphia's are really scarce in the 67. This one's also CAC certified as well, and this one ended up selling for $1,188, again, strictly for a registry set application. All right, we got a little bit of an update on one of my favorite type coins. Now, the 1943 Lincoln Steel Cent is special for a number of reasons. Okay, I think the biggest one, and I could speak for a lot of people that collect into these, is that it's a one-year unique piece. And you can find them in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mintage. This particular example is a Philadelphia. These don't have any visible mint mark, as you can see. Now, this one right here is an NGC Mid-State 68. Same verse as the first. Any coin graded by NGC that might have a sniff of some sort of registry set application will be sold at an incredible discount. Now, we've traditionally seen Mid-State 68 PCGS examples of this coin sell here in the last few years for around $2,500 to $3,000. So where does an NGC graded piece land? This one ended up selling for $1,524.38. And as a matter of fact, there were 2 examples sold this week on Great Collections. Both the same grade, both by NGC, both sold for the same amount of money. So obviously, that's kind of where the market settled at when you have 2 identical coins. The price will end up falling pretty close to each other, but finding them both selling for the same price with the buyer's premium, that's kind of cool and a little bit scarce. Now, this is probably the prettiest coin of the Lincoln Cent series by far. I would say this one, the next one is a knockout. You guys are going to have to wait for that one. This is a 1936 Lincoln Wheat Cent. This is, again, a more common grade. I think, in 36, there are quite a few Mid-State 67 and up type coins. This particular one is a 67 plus full red. Again, do not invest in these for any other reason outside of a registry set. That's what these are here for. They're made and tailored for those participants that like to assemble, high-grade specimens of these coins. And again, it's a points-based system, and that's why it's so popular. Is that it's more of a bragging rights type of affair, if anything else. But there are a lot of people that really want to dive into these. And we're seeing more people enter in the registry set game. There's been a few new applicants coming on in to try their hand at this. So that can only mean that the market will get deeper and wider for these as time goes on. This one's also CAC certified. This one ended up hammering at $2,475 with the buyer's premium added in there. And the final Lincoln for the week, although not the last penny coin, is going to be this 1909. You'll notice that it is not the VDB reverse. So this doesn't have the VDB initials on the reverse there. This is just a standard 1909. All right, some would say, yeah, not nearly as desirable. But, however, when it comes to high-grade examples, this particular one, by the way, exhibits some really pretty color on the obverse of the coin. Just that little bit of toning really sets this one apart from its other similar dated coins. This one is a Mid-State 67 red through NGC. It's also been blessed with the CAC green bean as well. This one ended up selling for $3,998.25. Just an adorable premium coin. It could be a type piece if you wanted it to. The pops are really low on this particular coin at this grade. But also, I think more appropriately, this is another registry set piece. 1909 non-VDB initial coins are not necessarily hunted for, with exception of a few people in those inner circles that have recognized the opportunity cost at owning this one right here. It's a lot more scarce than you think. And the final, 1 cent coin on the group is going to be this little hidden gem right here. Now, this is going to be one of those coins that we talk about that is quite desired in grades above like AU 55. This is the 1908S Indian head cent. This is effectively the first 1 cent coin to feature a physical mint mark right on there. So you see the S mint mark right under the wreath at the K6 position of the coin. This one will continue to live as that designated coin, the first one with a mint mark. However, it is grossly overshadowed by a couple certain other coins, the other 1909S Indian head cent, and of course the 1909S series of Lincolns, whether they have the VDB or not. This one right here has kind of stayed under the radar in the marketplace, but we're beginning to see a little bit more activity for what we call market acceptable pieces. This one is a 65 red. These pictures obviously do not do it justice because I don't see a full red coin. I see something that is probably like more along the lines of a red brown. I don't see that, the pictures are probably a little bit too dark for my taste to illustrate some of the mint red that these coins should exhibit for a full red grade. Now, this one right here, I wouldn't turn my back on it at all. This one sold for $4,331.25. Not too shabby, considering it's kind of like the, I guess, option B or plan B. If you can't get that 1909S or 1909S Lincoln, this is the one that people would shoot for pretty easily. All right, we're on nickels, and nickels are quite stacked, but not for Jeffersons. This is the only notable Jefferson nickel this week. This is a 1960, a very, very, very difficult grade, very difficult date to find with a full step designation. This one has a pretty good strike, although it's not the cleanest of looking coins. It is a 65. All right, so that says a lot. The quality of the early 60s Jeffersons were not that good. The original, I guess the blank planchets, before they were even struck, had a myriad of issues and nicks and scratches and stuff, and that didn't translate too well to the final product. This one right here is a 65 full steps. It's quite scarce and is a much needed addition to a Jefferson nickel registry. This one ended up selling for $2,793.38. Now, we got some beauties here in the Buffalo Nickel series. And again, all right, probably beyond this 1935D, which is a perfectly fine coin. It is a mid-state 65. I've seen 66s, 67s, much higher grades of this particular date and mint mark sell on great collections. But, again, when those coins become very scarce and too prohibitively expensive for some of the, I guess, kind of like middle kind of collectors that don't have 15 grand to spend on a coin, they'll look at these kind of coins right here. Mid-state 64s, 65s, they're all getting a lot of looks lately. This one right here is a decently struck example. It's got plenty enough luster, I would say, for the coin. This one right here is a 65 in an original green holder. This one was graded over 20 years ago. This one ended up selling for $1,406.25. Again, still not a cheap coin, but again, it's not $5,000 to $10,000 for a few grade points higher. Some people will settle for this, and it shows. All right, now we're getting to some of the spiciest of the spiciest coins right here. These are just your consummate keys. All right, we got 25D. This is a tough one. Especially finding one with enough luster, to really buy in the fact that it is mid-state. All right, this one right here is a PCGS mid-state 66. It's also green beaned as well. Just a really pretty coin, and this is your typical looking kind of coin from the mid-20s. They weren't flashy, compared to some of those coins you see from the 30s, but this one right here certainly works as a typeset piece, investor piece, registry set, bomb, you name it. This one ended up selling for $18,000. Again, it's probably not the highest grade that you'll see in a 25D, but the money gets extremely rich once you get beyond that mid-state 65 level. And we have a few more here. How about 1919S with a little bit of a goldish, yellowish toning on both sides of the coin? This one is a 65. This is much more like it. This is kind of like, your best compromise while you're waiting for that mid-state 66 or higher example for a marquee registry set. Not a really easy date and grade to achieve. More than likely, you're never going to find these out in circulation. That's like a 0% chance. And the likelihood that you'll be able to cherry pick one of these in like dealer stock, even the dealers know that these things are hot right now. This one right here sold for $10,800. Again, this is a mid-state 65. We're not talking like 67 level. This one's still achieving 5 figures. And the same goes for this one here. We have a 1918D, another tough one. However, this one has the distinction of being part of Angel D's tone set. One of the finest toned buffalo nickel provenances that you will encounter. If you haven't read up or seen images of this marquee collection from Angel D's, go ahead and type it in on the good old Google box and check it out. It is impressive. The toning on this is not impressive, but still, it was a part of that set. This one right here, 66 plus. I mean, with obvious reason, it's very, very nice. It's a very hammered strike. Sold for $14,625 here this week. And then we also have an 18S. However, not an Angel D's coin, but that's okay. Still very relevant in this particular week's worth of market action. Not an Angel D's coin, but yeah, this one's going to end up in a registry set. And look at the grades. Still a 65. Still a very tough date for these earlier coins. Any Denvers or San Franciscos from the teens and 20s are prime targets, you know, for not only grading, but also also any sort of kind of like money-making profit opportunity. I know people that headhunt these out in the wild, coin shops and dealers mostly, not in circulation. But yeah, this one right here, impressive. This one sold for $14,406.75. All right, so the stunners continue in this one. I mean, I love the toning on this. And to kind of like make this one extra special, it is indeed a Micro S 1945. All right, so this is an often known variety type using a very, very small mint mark punch compared to a regular size S mint punch that was used during this year and the subsequent years before it. This one right here is a mid-state 68, all right? And the thing is, it has no full split bands. No bands, no nothing. It's about as flat as a board. CAC certified, but the toning, I think, does a real good job replacing any sort of split bands, you know, strike opportunity here. This one ended up selling for $2,840.62. Just a beautiful, beautiful looking coin. And the final dime of the week is this one right here. Again, proving once again that you don't necessarily need the full split bands or beautiful looking eye appeal to really captivate the collective buying audience. This one right here, not an attractive coin at all from a eye appeal standpoint. If you were going to dip any sort of coin, people will look at this and like, yeah, that's a dipping candidate. But there is something to be said with the marketability of just the eye appeal and the original skin that these older coins exhibit. Now, this is a PCGS Mid-State 67. Again, no full bands designation. It was blessed with a CAC green bean at this point. This one right here sold for $2,318.62. Again, just shocking and, you know, really wowing. You know, the overall community with sales like this. So where does a high-grade America the Beautiful quarter lie? All right, well, that's been, you know, somewhat of a conversation, not a very deep conversation. The people that actually assemble registry level sets of these coins will find 67s and 68s to be the norm. Now, when you get into the much earlier dates, specifically 2010 to 2000, maybe like 12, you know, with like the Hawaii volcanoes and all that. Yeah, these are just a trio of years where it's extremely difficult to find a 68. All right, and this Yellowstone National Park, it's a 2010P, is as good as it gets. This is a mid-state 67, believe it or not, it is. And this is a Pop 21 with no grades that achieve a finer level above and beyond a 67. So this is it right here. So yeah, there is some desirability for these. I wouldn't necessarily put all your eggs in one basket if you feel and think like you want to grade these. To me, it wouldn't be worth it because you would have to send multiples of it to have any outside shot of earning a 67 or higher on any of these ATB quarters. This one right here, $742.50. Yeah, it sounds like a really good amount of money for a coin this new, but there's a lot of risk involved with grading these. So, I would say just leave it alone and focus on other things. This is a registry set coin all day long. Two more quarters, or three, or two more quarters to end it off here. How about 39? This is a Philadelphia minted example. Just a beautiful original surfaced coin. Hasn't been played with or dipped at any one point. This one right here is pretty. It's very nice. It's mid-state 68 through PCGS. Obviously, this one has more far-reaching registry set applications than it does anywhere else outside of that. This one right here sold for $2,925. Just a really solid sale. And again, the likelihood that you'll find these, in an old album is a possibility, especially with some sort of like original toning or skin on there. That's going to be kind of like the main features you're going to focus on when you're trying to cherry pick these. But last but certainly not least, we're going to end it off on this coin. Our only coin to not achieve a mid-state grade in this week's Monday Market Report is the 1927S Standing Liberty Quarter, a much tougher date than it sounds. It has to be because it's on the list. PCGS AU55. All right, so it's been out in circulation for a few months, I would gather. It is CAC Green Bean, which is very relevant to collectors of this series. But yeah, I mean, you see the true beauty in a little bit of circulation wear. And, this one right here is about as nice as it gets for an AU55. I mean, I swear, I looked at this, I'm like, it could have gone a grade point higher, like a 58. It could have been. It could have been a slider. But this everyman, almost everyman coin right here, I think is just a really good-looking example of this coin, where oftentimes you will only find low-ball kind of good VG grade coins, and even those are not incredibly cheap. If you have to spend $30 on a junk-level silver kind of coin, then you understand the market for certain dates. 27S, this one ended up selling for $4,857.75. And that, my friends, ladies and gentlemen, is going to go ahead and do it for the Monday Market Report for the week ending April 17th, 2022. That was a lot of fun. Would love to hear your thoughts on this week's market report. Did you have a favorite? Did you want to talk about anything specifically? Yeah, I'm sure I'll hear a few things about some of those Lincoln cents that we saw earlier in the show. Again, not my favorites, but they did pop at those levels through NGC mostly. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. That's going to go ahead and wrap it up for today. You guys take care. Have a great week. Don't work so hard. And I'll see you guys on the next coin video. So long until then.